Mattel and the NDSS came together to create a Barbie with Down syndrome for those with Down syndrome. Let's see what Matt Walsh has to say about this.
I want to talk about this too. This is from AP News. Toy company Mattel revealed its first Barbie doll representing a person with Down syndrome on Tuesday. Mattel collaborated with the National Down Syndrome Society to create the Barbie and ensure the doll accurately represents a person with Down syndrome, the company said. Design features of the new Barbie were made under guidance from NDSS. Mattel said, in addition to portraying some physical characteristics of a person with Down syndrome, the Barbie's clothing and accessories carry special meaning. The blue and yellow on the doll's dress, accompanied by butterflies, represents symbols and colors associated with Down syndrome awareness. The Barbie also has ankle-foot orthotics, which some Down syndrome children use. Good Morning America had a segment on this, so you could see the Barbie. Let's check that out.
And I'm here for the first ever Barbie with Down syndrome, and it's like me. And it's beautiful, and I love it to pieces.
I know there's a lot of right-wingers that see this and they're pissed, claiming that, Barbie is going woke, making a doll after people with Down syndrome. And this is because they hate disabled people and they hate the idea of anyone that they don't consider like valuable to society having some kind of representation.
I love it!
What do you think?
Nice, yeah.
What do you like about it?
The hair and the clothes.
We brought the doll with Down syndrome to life in close partnership with the National Down Syndrome Society. Through this collaboration, we were able to ensure the doll and all the design elements and details were an accurate representation of a person with Down syndrome.
Okay, so here's what I want to say about this, because I've seen some conservatives making fun of this and calling it woke. It's another woke, inclusive, PC thing, is what some are saying. And
yeah, because for the right, being inclusive is bad. The idea of allowing those you don't like the appearance of or something else being allowed in your group is an evil.
And I'll admit that in the first moment after I saw this headline, I almost had that reaction because I saw the term inclusive Barbie doll, and my first instinctive reaction is to roll my eyes because 99.9% of the time, it's going to be something stupid.
Yeah, because for the right wing, including people into society is stupid. It's like when Candace Owens was upset when a fashion company was making clothing for disabled people. She was upset about that because it's typical for right-wingers to be mad at disabled people.
There's an inclusive whatever, it's something stupid, it could be something, or it's going to be something actively objectionable, or both, like a non-binary Barbie doll or something.
That's funny, because I was just thinking, if this was, a gender, if Barbie was making a Barbie doll about a gender spectrum person, Matt Walsh would be definitely acting differently about this, but for some reason, he is accepting of people with Down syndrome, so he's okay with the Barbie doll.
If they don't already have that, I'm sure they're going to soon enough. But then there's the 0.1% of the time when it's actually something good. And this is the 0.1%. We don't want to be like dogs, barking whenever we hear a car in the driveway, no matter who's driving it. We want to have discernment, right? And we should have it here. Down syndrome people really do need to be included. We do need inclusivity campaigns for them because Down syndrome people, especially children, are being excluded from society in the most violent and bloody ways. They're being exterminated by the abortion industry.
Wow. Oh, okay. So this is why he supports people with Down syndrome. when, for the most part, right-wingers hate people with disabilities, it's because he can use them as a way to bash abortions. That's wild. So they're just a prop for him.
That's a big reason why they run tests for Down syndrome in utero, because they run the tests and then they give the parents the option to kill the child if they don't want to have a child with Down syndrome. And tragically, many parents do. Biden's plans.
This is more than likely an advertisement with the way it transitioned. Here we go. We're after the ad break.
If we're doing anything as a society, I would say to include Down syndrome children, to humanize them, represent them. That's a good thing.
Okay, so can we do this about everybody with disabilities, or is it just people with Down syndrome? And can we just date with everybody as well? Why is it only certain people that should be included in society?
It's pro-life, actually. It is pro-life. The correct and also strategically intelligent reaction for conservatives from something like this is to say, wow, Mattel is pro-life. They're putting out something pro-life. This is great. Now, does Mattel mean it that way? Okay, did the Mattel Corporation, and they're in their marketing department, their toy development department, whatever, and they're sitting around, did they say, hey, what can we do to advance the pro-life cause? Well, obviously not. And they would be horrified, probably, if we took it that way. So if conservatives...
But supporting people with Down syndrome is not actually some kind of like pro-life cause. Not even like right-wingers truly are pro-life. They don't care. They don't care if certain people that they dislike dies, you know. There's been a number of mass shootings where kids die, and right-wingers don't care about that. All they care about is the guns possibly being taken away. But this is typical of right-wingers, where they will support a group that they typically hate in order to bash another group of people that they hate. It's the same when it's just their typical attack method.
Started coming out and saying, this is pro-life, this is amazing, this is great, Mattel would not be happy about that. But we should do it anyway. Like, take the wins where they come, even if they're unintentional. Even if we're seizing on to something that was meant a certain way, and we're saying, nope, this is what it means. You might not have meant it this way, but this is what it means. And this is a perfect example of that. Whether you intend for it to be pro-life or not, whether that's a conscious intention, it is. Because to include and humanize and represent, again, I know these words have connotations now.
So for him, including Down syndrome people as part of society and being represented means you're pro-life. But if they did the same for trans people and gay people, Matt Walsh would be saying that this company has gone woke and that they're evil and trying to indoctrinate kids with the infection of transgenderism.
Now, and every time we hear them, we have that instinctive reaction to it. But there are contexts where these words really do mean something, even if they're misused most of the time. And in this case, yeah, representing and including Down syndrome children is a very good thing. And also, look, it's true that if you're a parent with a child who has Down syndrome, the shows that your child watches, the movies, the toys that he plays with, he's not going to often see people like him in those contexts.
God, this is just so wild how he's like supporting representation while at the same time he's always been against representation of people, as long as they're just, cis, het, white, Christian people. Again, this is all just pretend on his part. He does not care about people with Down syndrome or anybody else with disabilities.
Partly because, again, Down syndrome people are being eradicated in an actual eugenics campaign.
Yeah, and right-wingers are trying to eradicate trans people, yet he does not care about trans people whatsoever, and those people are being murdered outside of the womb as, kids and adults, but there's no care whatsoever by Matt Walsh. He supports it.
That's happening in this country and across the Western world. So I can imagine that if I had a daughter with Down syndrome, I'd be going out and buying this doll for her. And it would be extremely unfair and annoying, to say the least, if I heard conservatives accusing me of participating in something woke.
Now he doesn't like right-wingers calling everything woke when it may mean that he is considered woke.
Because of it. It's not. And we need to be smarter than that, I think. And that'll do it for this portion of the show. Let's move over to
God. Great pretender, great grifter, Matt Walsh, pretending he cares about people with Down syndrome and disabilities. This has just been hilarious to watch. Like, this dude hates people with disabilities, and he's pretending to care. This is like when right-wingers will go against abortion, say that, there's a genocide against black people because of the amount of abortions black women get, saying that, Planned Parenthood is Nazism because supposedly the person who created Planned Parenthood was a Nazi or some kind of eugenicist when that's not even the case. And then they will use that to go against abortions, but at the same time, do nothing like to help black people and hate black people. They don't care. All they want to do is use one group to bash another.